something I've noticed over the years. Well, MailChannels is not considered the cheap option. We're considered the expensive option in the market. Uh, it's sort of considered to be more expensive to use MailChannels than to do it yourself with open source, for example. Um, However, we invest everything we make back into research and development to improve the product. A couple of years ago, we did some research in partnership with a company that collects data on the hosting industry in a really excellent quality data that allows us to assess which hosting companies are growing the fastest. And when we looked at the data between 2016 and 2022, nearly all of the top 10 hosting providers in terms of growth rate during that time used MailChannels. Now, I can't confidently say that because they used us, they grew fast. I think what's more likely is that the companies that are growing fast see the value in spending money on an expensive option that delivers them a lot of value and allows them to focus on something else. For example, a hosting company, a kind of like old school hosting company run by a cowboy CEO, is hacking around in Perl and, and system commands and stuff to do a bunch of their own engineering when there's probably a specialist vendor that could do a much better job for a little bit of money. But at the end of the day, if they spent their time focusing on marketing, they could grow their company way faster and make tons more money. And we've seen that. We've definitely seen that when we look at our fastest growing customers. They spend very little of their organization's effort mucking around on details that a vendor should be handling. So they're working with companies like WebPros. They're using Plesk and cPanel as their control panel. They're not using a bargain basement control panel. The fastest growing companies seem to be using the most expensive tools. I think that that's kind of more consistent with what you could call like the Silicon Valley way, which could be stated as money solves all problems. So if you're trying to grow, you put money into the right places and then you grow. Whereas there was this first phase of the hosting industry, where companies were run by engineers and IT guys, and a lot of the companies are still run by those same people, but maybe those are the lifestyle ones. Those are the ones that are making 1, 2, 3 million a year for the founder. They're very happy, but they're certainly not growing the way that the properly run companies are.
Absolutely. See it in the same way, yeah. And honestly, a lot of people where still some engineer is running the company. I'm not saying this is something bad, but some of them have never invested time in learning the business part of it. I think this is something where even me after 20 years, I'm still learning, and some people, they just never learn. And that's becoming a problem, yeah. And so, but yeah, it's a topic on its own, and either you know how to grow a business or you don't.